My name is Kimberly Carrasco, and I am in the fall 2019 semester, and I will be discussing the anatomy of the eye. So here is our diagram of the eye, and the eye is pretty much divided into two segments. Here you have the anterior segment, which is more of the front part of the eye, and then you have the posterior segment, which is more of the back of the eye. So we'll start over here in the anterior segment. The first structure I'm going to talk about is the cornea, and it's the front transparent part of the eye, and it provides a majority of the refraction of light that enters the eye, and it is the only transparent structure in the eye here. Next is the iris, and the iris is what actually contains the pigment and tissue of the eye, which gives the eye its color. And the iris controls the amount of light that enters the eye by controlling the size of the pupil here. So here is the pupil. And the pupil is basically just a black hole where light enters. And again, it is controlled by the iris here. Next right here is the lens. And the lens changes shape, and it provides the secondary refraction after the cornea. So the iris is an extension of the ciliary body, which has the ciliary muscles, and that's what controls the focus by allowing the lens here to get thicker, which allows us to see objects up close. So the suspensory ligaments here, they're pretty much fibers that connect the lens to the ciliary muscles. And next, moving here, is the aqueous. And this is produced in the ciliary body, and it pretty much flows to nourish the lens here. And moving up a little bit, the spot here is the canal of Schlemm, and it's pretty much a collection canal that delivers the aqueous to the venous system of the body, right here. And coming up from that is the conjunctiva. It is a clear membrane, and it kind of just covers the outer layer of the eye, and it also lines the inner portions of the eyelid as well. Okay, so we'll kind of move over here to the posterior segment. And there are three layers to the eye. The outermost layer, it's the protective layer of the eye, is called the sclera right here. And the next layer next to it, the black dark line, is called the choroid. And the purpose of the choroid, it just provides nourishment to the retina, which is here. So, and that's our next layer of the eye, is the retina. So, the retina contains the photoreceptors, the rods and cones that receive the light rays from the pupil, which are then converted into pretty much electrical impulses that will be eventually sent to the brain. And in the retina, right here in this spot, is called the macula. And it basically has a very high amount of the cone photoreceptors. It also provides one of the highest visual acuities. And in the very center of the macula is the fovea centralis. And the fovea centralis is the only area in the eye where we actually have the 20/20 vision, right here. All right, so we're gonna kind of move back here. Right here is the ora serrata, and it's pretty much the area of the inner eye where you'll see the retina starts to end here, and the choroid layer of the eye can be seen. And here in the posterior segment, this whole entire chunk of the eye here is filled with it's a jelly-like substance and it's called the vitreous humor. And it fills the entire posterior segment here, and it is located kind of behind the lens here. And moving over, we're still in the posterior segment. We'll finish off in this area. We have the optic nerve. And in the optic nerve, it's pretty much where the nerve impulses travel from the retina, and then they are transmitted to the brain via the optic nerve. And then this is kind of considered the head of the optic nerve. It's called the optic disc. It doesn't have any photoreceptors, and it's what's considered the blind spot of the eye right here. So that's basically the anatomy of the eye, and I know you wanted us to finish with a joke. I guess mine is, not all jokes are bad. Some are cornier than others. Thank you.